Hello everyone, welcome to ETimes, and today we've got none other than Rajkummar Rao and Harshavardhan Kulkarni from team Badhaai Do. These are exciting times. We're all looking forward to this film. Welcome Rajkummar, welcome Harshavardhan, welcome to
Thank you
ETimes.
so much. Thank you, Rajat.
Thank you,
How are you
Richard.
guys doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good as well. I'm good as well. So guys, let's just shoot into the first question. And both of you can choose to answer this. It's an open question. Love or inclusivity, which is the more dominant theme of Badhaai Do?
For me, love.
Oh, love, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Love which leads to inclusivity, right? I mean, when there is love, that's where you kind of tend to have that feeling of inclusivity. I think love is primarily the biggest
Yeah.
thing that we're trying to say.
Right. But of course, inclusivity will also be a huge part of the
course.
story as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So will sort of in the part where your story talks about inclusivity and these two really sort of unique characters, is that the freshness appeal, Harshvardhan, in the story? Is that the sort of a USP?
Yeah, I mean, it is also about the bonding between people. It is about finally talking about love between characters that at one part of time, you tend to forget that it's between the same sex, and it finally comes down to that love is love. It doesn't define. It doesn't really need to be defined in any other way. So that is what primarily the film is all about.
Right. And I was just thinking about the Badhai franchise. Jungly Pictures has produced Badhai Ho and now Badhai Do. And essentially, sort of now, especially with Badhai Do, I think the identity of this franchise has become about breaking stereotypes. Badhai Ho was about this, this middle-aged woman getting pregnant. She already has children, and now suddenly, she's bearing a child. While Badhai Do is about, a lavender marriage. So, are we right when we say, this franchise is all about pushing the envelope?
But that's what
Absolutely.
it seems like,
yeah,
with these two films.
Yeah.
absolutely. So like Akshat says, yeah, he's the creator of the first one and the second one. I mean,
Right.
with Suman.
Yeah.
And it is about breaking stereotypes and it's a spiritual sequel. But it is also, he says, it's 2x in all forms. It
Right.
just goes double the things because even the complexities are far more, they're far more complex. And the humor is, again, double the thing. The families are bigger. Everything is though. It's twice the size.
Right. The other day I was speaking to Anand L. Rai, and we had a nice conversation about producers and filmmakers taking creative risks. But Rajkumar, from an actor's perspective, when you have a subject like this, which has got so much, it's so layered, it's going to talk on so many levels. So, as an actor, do you ever think about a creative risk, or does that not matter, or you simply think about a story and your character?
Yeah, I only think about the story and my character.
Hmm.
I think if you are creative, then you have to take that risk. Only then you can be creative. If you're doing the same thing again and again, that's not creation. That's recreation of whatever you have done earlier.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think it's important to be creative, especially in
So,
art.
so as an artist, as an actor, do you sort of look forward to these out of the box ideas?
Oh yeah,
Stories?
I get very excited whenever I get a script which is
Right.
so unique in nature, or it's so different from whatever I've done till date, and it excites me as an actor. Something which challenges me and pushes me, I just go for it.
Okay. So had you seen Harshvardhan's Hunter before?
Of course, yeah, I have.
Okay. So were you expecting he's coming with another risky idea? Were you sort of anticipating and expecting that?
No, I knew about Hunter when he was making it also. I read
Okay.
that script earlier. So
Okay.
I know, and I've known him since then. He's my senior from my film institute.
Right.
From the film institute. So I've known him of course, now we are like buddies and we're like, we're like friends for life now.
Right.
But I knew I always had that faith in him as a maker.
Right.
And the first time when I met him for Badhaai Do, and it was a weird meeting because I liked the script, but I was committed to do another film on LGBTQI community, but that didn't work out. So I went back and I was like, let's do this. And then I'm so glad I took that decision because I've got two great friends for life, Bhumi and Harsh, and then also I'm a part of a film which I'm so proud of.
Right. And Raj, what was your first reaction when you first heard this script or this concept? I mean, what was that initial thing? What was that instinct telling you?
Uh, that it's so wonderfully crafted. The structure, the screenplay, and these two characters, and the balance between the humor and the sensitive side of it.
Hmm.
It was very well structured.
Right. Right. And something a word, Harshvardhan, from a producer's perspective as well. We generally tend to sort of say that producers like to say play it safe. They'll not take those risks. But say a Jungly Pictures sort of putting their faith in a subject like this. Is that sort of is it sort of gratifying? Do you sort of really appreciate that there are great producers out there as well?
So they have always been that way, right? I mean, look at their roster. I mean, every film that they have done has pushed the boundary. They've never played it safe. So for me, it was so that one part. Let's not play it safe. Let's be, out there, do so many things. Was never a struggle because they were always really, really out there pushing it. Even today, they are out there backing this film and saying, no, this has to be a theatrical. This is a film that has to be watched by the community. Which producer is going to take that kind of a risk? So they are truly one of those really great. I haven't worked with too many, right? I mean, so this is my second. So first one was produced by us itself. So me and Kirti. So this is the second. I think I'm very, very happy. Very glad.
Kind of, even creatively, I think they gave us so much of freedom, especially to Harsh. And there were things, of course, which as it was a big move for them to say, okay, fine, you do the way you feel like doing, because not many producers would do that,
Right.
but they just gave us that freedom to go ahead with it, especially to Harsh, I think. Yeah.
Right.
So they're a wonderful. I mean, the creative team of Jungly Pictures, everyone inclusive. They're a small team, but they are so good, And I mean, thank God for them that we are at least releasing it now. Yeah.
Right. Great. Raj, coming to your character, you're playing a policeman who's also coming to terms with coming out. Plus, there's the usual aspects of romance and comedy. Would you say this is your most layered, your most complex character yet?
One of the most layered, I would say, if not the most layered. There's so much more happening with him. Of course, the humor part of it is one aspect of it, but there's so much more going on inside him, which you would see throughout the film. And on top of that, we have added some more layers to it, which I can't share right now, but when you see the film. So, for us, I think we just wanted to normalize his sexuality a lot. We never wanted to focus on him being gay. That's just a part of his identity. It's not his identity. He's dealing with so many things apart from that. So I think it's just, it was just so much fun just being Shardul.
Okay. So, I mean, characters like these, would you describe them as fun, or are they sort of a challenge as well?
So fun in a way, like, fun, like when you do something which really makes you happy, that is fun, right?
Right.
So it's so fun in that way that it really made me very happy playing Shardul. It was challenging, of course, being in that physique and to play this part, which is so layered, and then to, work with Harsh, which is so challenging.
Yeah. but that shot of yours where you're showing off your physique, that's it's like it's attuned to the female gaze, and Harsh is I think he's a champion of that. He's even done it in Hunter.
He's made me a mass ka hero. So much mass on my body, which was never there.
Right.
No, but Harsh is a great guy. Yeah. Like when he told me that he wants me to be in a particular physique for the film, I thought nobody has asked me for that ever. People want me to come and play characters and act. And I was like, here's this guy who's written this beautiful character, a brilliant story. And on top of that, he wants me to be this macho guy as well. I was like, this guy knows his job.
No, and that particular shot, I remember, he hadn't had water for 2 days or something like that.
Crazy.
Oh man, and that's the day when I realized, as directors, we just go and tell you, hey man, just make your body. Every day after pack up, I would be seeing him in the gym after 12 hours of rigor on the set. He would be there still pumping. And then when we are on our dining table eating everything, gorging on sweet, this guy is just poor guy, just eating broccoli or one dry paneer. I said, nahi yaar, I shouldn't let, I mean, this is torturous. It was very, very guilt riding for me also that I'm just making him do so much. So that's what, I mean, fun means this, that he went through so many physical challenges, but it was fun.
Right.
It was a challenge is also fun. It's
Right.
not your run of the mill kind of a characters that he was doing. It was so much fun to dig deeper and
Yeah.
relish
Right.
it.
Right. I mean, Raj, I'm like a 120 kilo guy, so I've never known bodybuilding and cutting weight and cutting salt and water and stuff. But you've done it now. How tough is it? I mean, how demanding is that
Man,
simple
it's
thing on your
very
body?
tough. And especially being a vegetarian and somebody who's not dependent on, all those stuff and all. So
Yeah.
it was very tough. There's a dialogue in the film also. हमने तो वो सब भी नहीं लिया है. Injection. No, it's very tough, yeah. So I think hats off to people who maintain this body throughout the year. It's not easy to maintain those six packs and to be in that shape. So I think hats off to those people. I realize how tough it is.
Would you do it again?
Of course, why not? If there is a
Okay.
character who demands that, why not? Anything for cinema.
Right. Great. Rajkumar, again, you're no stranger to movies and characters who are centered around marriages. You've done it in so many of your films. So, and you also recently got married. So, how much did your on-screen experience help you with your off-screen matrimony? Were you exchanging notes? Were there any thoughts?
A film, of course, it's a fictional word, it's a fictional character with real emotions attached. But here it's about my life. It's somebody who I love, who I've been in love with for the last 11 years of my life, and will continue that forever. So now it's a very different thing. I think Harsh was there at the wedding, and he knows I was just so happy. And people were like,
Ecstatic.
इतना खुश दूल्हा भैया हमने कभी नहीं देखा.
Right.
और वैसे भी वो सेम वर्ल्ड जी नहीं सकते भैया. ये वाली शादी तो अलग शादी है, ये रियल शादी है.
Obviously. Great. Harsh, coming to you, Hunter was such a risque subject, but Badhaai Do sort of, while it has its bold aspects, it is still a lot closer to the family entertainer setup. So, did you as a director, as a storyteller, how many did you find a difference in your process of telling these two stories?
No, it's still my process itself. There is nothing that has changed or there was anything different. It was just that it's definitely not the same story. So the world is very different, and even the kind of humor that one had and this one has is very different. It's quite I mean, this is far more what do you say, challenging, because this is like we're telling it's a funny film. Then and if people wouldn't laugh, it's a risk, it's such a terrible it's such a tough thing to do actually. So you strive harder, and you kind of try and crack certain things which are, that this needs to be out there, bigger laughs, like the physical comedy that Raj and Bhumi and everyone were, indulging in. These are not simple. Actually, that's what I've realized. Being real, being in that genre, which is very comfortable, is simpler because you know it, right? This is the world that I'm comfortable with. This was a world which kind of was tougher, much tougher than Hunter, for sure.
Right. Rajkumar, coming back to you, you guys are sort of depicting a lavender marriage, which essentially is a marriage of convenience in Badhaai Do. So, do you feel a relationship or even a marriage of convenience in real life, can it last the test of time? Do you feel so? What are your personal opinions on that?
Well, I was just talking to somebody the other day, and he's told me that even I've known people, and he said that he's known people who are in this arrangement, in this lavender marriage for years now. It's ironical. I won't say it's the ideal situation to be in because of the societal pressure and the family pressure. Sometimes you get in this wedding scenario, and then you're just there for years, without even you can't even get out of it now because it's too late. So I won't say it's the ideal scenario to be in, and I hope people are way more acceptable. We are way more acceptable as a society eventually, that nobody has to be in this arrangement, because we do it because of societal pressure and nothing else, because of fear that what's going to happen if I come out. Just because of that fear, we get into this lavender marriage thing. But I hope that's not the case in coming future.
Right. Fair enough. And guys, one last final question, again an open question. What should the audience expect from Badhaai Do? And what do you two personally feel are the strengths or the most unique aspects of this film from an audience perspective as well?
I think it's heart. I always say that the heart of the film is in its right place. And after a long time, I think they're going to see something which is said from the heart, very honest. And they're going to be entertained for sure. But there is a lot of it which is also that they're going to walk out thinking, and they're going to take home a lot of things to process.
Yeah.
Right. Rajkummar, you agree to this?
Absolutely. I think it's a whirlpool of emotions, and humor being right at the top. But as Harsh said, once you walk out, it's you're going to come back with so many of it, so many things attached to it, and not only the fun part of it.
Right. And Harsh is a master of that. It was the same thing with Hunter as well. That film was so much more than just what it seemed on the surface. So definitely looking forward to this one.
Thanks, Rajit, for being that fan.
Mutual admiration society zinda rahe.
Thanks. Yeah.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Rajit.
Yeah, and I really hope the film does really well.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.